To make money in the market, you need a formula. Trading is very simple once you find a formula, and many people do not find a formula kind of a thinking, or they are not thinking in terms of a formula. Formula and a process. If you can find a formula to make money and find a process to do it, you can become a successful trader. Now this is no different from any other business. Now I had before we sold those shops a year ago, we had 3 auto repair shop. Now auto repair shop is a very simple business. It's a formula business. All that formula consists of in a successful auto repair shop. If you want to make $1 million plus kind of an auto repair shop where you're doing a sales of 1.5 to 2 million, the formula per shop is very simple. You advertise for a low cost oil change, which is like an oil change of $19.99 or a synthetic oil change of $49.99, with the objective of getting in 20 cars to come in for an oil change. But you don't make money on oil change. The formula is get a car for oil change, do a thorough inspection of the car, and then present to the customer every single thing which is wrong in the car. Now if you get 20 cars, the mathematics of it is very simple. If you can get 20 cars to come in for oil change, and then you basically find anywhere between $500 to $300 worth of repairs on it, on an average, some tickets will be larger than that, and 60-70% of the customers are going to accept your selling of those jobs. You're looking at around $5,000-$6,000 a day in business, and that in a month of 25 days translates into 120,000-130,000, and then a shop will do 1.5, 1.4 kind of a sales. Now once you have the formula right, and if you have the process and you have trained your people to follow the formula, you're not really interested in building relationship with the customers, you're not really interested in community relationship or educating the customer. All that you're interested in is executing the formula as well as good as you can do. And once you can do that, all that you do is like you buy a second store, you buy a third store, and then bingo, you increase your business to 4 million, 5 million. There are people I know in the auto repair businesses who have like 30, 32 shops which are built by just following a simple formula. This is true in most businesses, and this is exactly what you need to do in trading. If you can break down your trading, or if you can get to a level where you have a formula for trading, then if you do just the process, you can be successful very quickly. I do not understand the economy, I do not understand bonds, I do not understand commodities, I have no understanding of VWAP, I have no understanding of stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, or I don't even understand why people use moving averages or all those things. I just have a formula to make money where a stock makes 3 to 5 days, 8 to 20% move, or $5 to $20 move. And it's a formula. It's a very simple formula, and that formula has process, and if you follow the process A to Z in the sequence in which you follow the process, you run a scan in the morning by 9:30, 9:45, you find 1 or 2 candidates, you get into them, you put a stop, they go up for 3 to 5 days, you sell, you find another candidate, you get into it, sell, and that's all you're doing. I'm not even worried about what is happening to the deficit or what is happening to the bond prices in the market or what is happening to the Chinese economy. No, all that I did was before the market closed on Friday, bought Netflix, not before the market closed, but on early morning on Netflix. Showed up first thing in my scan in the first few minutes. I got into Netflix, put a $2 stop, and yesterday I sold Netflix for a $24 or $25 profit with a $2 thing. It's a formula. Now if you can understand formula and replicate formula, then you can do this kind of a trading. There are a lot of formulas like this in the trading world, like CAN-SLIM, which is the formula which is used for growth investing by a lot of investors, is a formula kind of a thinking. If you can follow the steps by step of CAN-SLIM and do a thing and do it only during bull market, you can make money. Now in order to be successful in a formula kind of a thinking, the one trap which you have to avoid is overthinking the things. If you are an overthinker, it's very difficult to implement a formula business. If you are one of those person who cannot follow a process or who wants to take a shortcut to a process, it's very difficult to do a formula business. Formula businesses require a very simple mindset. It requires a mindset of like, and basically I'm going to implement this formula and see what happens. And this is why you will see that I have a couple of formulas. I have a formula for like trading this momentum burst. I have a formula for trading episodic pivot. And because it's a very formula kind of a thinking, you will see that many people come join my site or learn or come and attend a boot camp, and then they learn and they can do it on their own. And you will see on Twitter a lot of people will say that they learned it in Stockbee site or they learned from me. And why can they replicate? Because if it is a formula, you can replicate. If it is not a formula, it's very difficult to replicate, because formula has a very, like, it's like a Dunkin' Donut is a formula business. Next to our shop there was a Dunkin' Donut. Now it's a very formula business. You are selling coffee or some drinks and some reheated food. And most of the Dunkin' Donuts, the owner is not there on the site. It is run by people who are like just minimum wage plus. Or McDonald's is a formula. Or next to my house, right across the street, there is a plumber, and he is retired now. At his heydays, he has 10 vans. And plumbing is a very formula business. I was talking to him and he was telling that all that he was doing was like, he and his wife used to take the calls, find out what is the problem with the customer, and send one of his vans. And they will go and they will do the repair and come back. At his heydays, he was making millions of dollars. Now this is a formula kind of a thinking. Similarly, in the stock market, you need to find something which is very formula kind of a setup. Once you find a formula kind of a setup, you just follow the steps of that formula. Don't overthink, don't make it too complicated, don't add too many indicators, just the essential steps of the formula. Replicate. If you are successful with that formula, then add another formula. Like if you said make momentum burst work, which is a formula kind of a thing, then you can add anticipation, then you can add episodic pivot, or then you can add stocks in play. These are all very formula kind of thinking. Because they are formula kind of a thinking, I have broken them down to steps, I have broken them down to checklist, I have broken them down to this is the step 1 which you need to do, this is what you need to do at 9:30, this is what you need to do at 9:45, this is what where you put a stop, this is where you take a profit, this is what you do. This is same in any business. Like in the Midas business which we used to own, 3 shops, it is very simple. Car comes in, first thing you check the light, you check the tires, you check the brakes. There is a sequence in which you check, because it's the easiest sell is if somebody's lights are not working, or somebody's brakes are not working, or tires are not working, right? Then you check the more complicated things. Now if you don't have that formula kind of a thinking, then you just make life very difficult by going into looking at complicated problems, trying to scan the car and doing things. If you are efficient, in 20 minutes you can get an oil change done, you can find $500 worth of repairs, you can sell it, and you can sell to the customer, get him to drop the car, drop him home, or like send him home, and get the repair done by the end of the day. In any town you have 20 to 30 repair shops, and you will see the one which are most successful are extremely formula oriented. Same thing today. Being in this business for 22 years, I know a lot of traders, I know a lot of profitable traders. I've been to a lot of traders' house. I've been to like, and I had dinner with some of the most famous traders which you people think about or talk about, and I've spoken to them personally. And at the essence of their success is just formula thinking. Same thing for day traders. The most successful traders have a very formula kind of a thinking. They just have a process, very simple thing. They are not doing a very complicated thing. They are not really worried about more complex things. Like I don't worry about anything else but my setup and whether it is showing up in my thing and what are the process and steps of doing this thing. Now and this understanding of formula thinking, anybody who can do this can quickly become profitable. Like I had a boot camp couple of months ago, and in that boot camp there was a couple which came in and they were attending. They didn't had like much of a experience with the stock market, and they just like this boot camp happened just 2 months ago, and they came in and because they didn't had much of a exposure to market, they didn't had much of a exposure to trading world and all, they just like learned the formula and they implemented the formula. And I will show you like in this video, the screen will show you their letter or their like a post which they made, where the person using this very simple formula kind of a thing grew his account by 50% last month. And they came to my office on the weekend to talk to me and explain what they were doing. All that they're doing is just like in a very simple formula kind of a thing: run a scan, find a setup, put the the number of shares they want to buy, put it in, put a stop, close it, again find another one every day morning, look at news. So it's a very formula kind of a thing. And the reason why they have been successful and many other people who attended a boot camp are not successful is the other people don't have a formula mindset. They are like getting into deep dives, they are getting into very real details, they are like spending time looking at like fine tuning things, they are looking at like getting more and more rules in place, or they have like marrying this particular formula to somebody else's formula. And the more complicated they are making it, the less it is working for them. I always seen in the last 22 years, the people who have a very formula kind of a thinking, they can take the essence of my setup and make it work. And the people who have overcomplicated way of thinking, or they have like a lot of people, they cannot execute formula, or like before they execute formula, they have so many questions. Like I have taught my methods to all my neighbors, all my friends, because when you are into trading, one of the hazards of being into trading is whenever you go to any party or wherever you go anywhere, people ask you, oh, what stock should I buy? So I always tell them, look, instead of me telling you which stock to buy, you want to learn how to do trading, you want to make money, come to my house, come to my boot camp, come and I will teach you, right? And I taught to many people, like all, if you can check with my friends and neighbors, and I taught them. And many people are very successful, they are doing it very well, right? And there are people, some people who are like incapable of executing a formula, or they are like I have a particular neighbor and he keeps asking, how much money can I make? How much money can I make? Will I lose money if I do this? How much will this cost me? How much is this? For 3 years he has been asking questions and not executing the formula. And I have other like neighbors who taken this, they do their own things on their own, and they do money. So this ability to think in terms of formula, replicate a formula, or like think of trading like a kind of a business which is like plumbing or like auto repair, where you can only just like do a very simple formula kind of a thing and make money, is something which people find it very difficult, right? There are so many questions. Can I become a billionaire by doing this? Yeah, you can also become a billionaire. Why you don't become a billionaire is also, once you make 5 million, 10 million, is do you have the motivation, right? You see like traders after traders, once they hit a high point in their capital or they make sufficient amount of money, what do they get? They spend money on Lamborghini, they will get a platinum blonde, they will get like basically a yacht, they will have like first girlfriend, second girlfriend, and those complications are the reason why people are no more motivated to do it. So can you become a billionaire following a formula? Yes, but like the personal aspect of it is also important. So if you are one of the traders who is really serious about making money, find a formula, right? Don't worry about economy, who is the president, who is the this thing, or like worrying about AOC or what Elon Musk is saying or what Jeff Bezos is doing with his girlfriend. Doesn't really matter. What matters is running a scan, finding a setup, putting a stop, holding it for 2 to 3 days, selling it into strength, moving your stop, finding another stock and doing it again and again. Formula is the secret to success in trading, especially if you want to be an active trader. And the day you get this thinking of formula in your mind and think like a formula person, your trading will improve.